Hi guys, and welcome back. So it seems to be VR season at the moment. There seems to be a new VR response video popping up every other day, really. I've been tagged into a couple for myself, and in fact there is even a few that I wouldn't mind just tackling anyway. But yeah, some of them it's just like trying to figure out your list of like X amount. There seems to be either 4, 5, or 6 seems to be the popular numbers at the moment, and trying to whittle everything down to them few numbers is just next to impossible. But I thought I'd do the easiest one. Uh, this is an originating tag from Big Game Al, and it is, I think, top 6 video game Mega Drive games in your collection, basically. So what do you own that you want to play? What are good games to play, basically? So it's pretty good to like spread the word of certain games. Maybe people have heard of them, maybe they haven't. Hyper Trigger X just did one, showed off his great Mega Drive Japanese ones. So yeah, I just love seeing them artwork. I mean, I think all of them was on PAL systems as well, so it's easy for everyone to collect for if you don't want to go for the Japanese route. But when you see that artwork, it just makes you want to like just turn and go Japanese, go the Japanese route. But that being said, I've gone through my collection and flipping. I think Big Game Al's made this tag just to make people want to spend more money on Mega Drive games. I've realised there's quite a few that I would actually have in this list that I actually don't have in my collection. The notable mentions are Gunstar Heroes and Ghosts and Goblins. Ghouls and Ghosts. Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts. I can't remember which one it is. I always get them two mixed up. Even though I absolutely flipping love that series, they would be absolutely the top 2 games I would choose because I absolutely love playing them, especially Gunstar Heroes, because you go down, it's a game that you can play and go down multiple paths. So anyway, they're my honourable mentions, or dishonourable because I don't have them. Another thing that I could easily go for is pop out, if it was any Mega Drive game, I could again pop out my multi-cart and then just show all of the Japanese shooters there that I've been playing all this year. I've absolutely been rinsing that cart just recently. Absolutely love it. Some great shooters. And the funny thing is, I've made my top 6 list, and there's no shooters on here. Is that because I don't prefer the PAL shooters? I think that's what it's not that they're terrible games or anything like that. It's just I know that there's better shooters out there now from playing them all on the, as I say, the multi-cart. But we're not talking about what could be, what wasn't. We're going to be talking about what have I got in this stack. So, do you know what? I'm going to put this one first. Absolutely fantastic game. I can't remember when I got it, but it was definitely one of the first Mega Drive games I picked up. And to be honest, even though it says it in the title, I didn't realise it was a Shinobi game. And that game is Shadow Dancer. Absolutely phenomenal game. I didn't, truth be told, I never really enjoyed the original Shinobi. I don't know what it was. I couldn't get around to playing it. However, this one, I couldn't stop playing it. I think it's because it's more arcadey feeling. It's a lot of action. I love the dog action. Dog that you could just like send away and attack your enemies and stuff like that. Soundtrack's fantastic. Well, I'm sure it is. I can't remember now, but I can't remember anything to hum to. But yeah, I just remember the whole package of this being brilliant. I can remember as well, like I mentioned before, I was on that Games World Live and I got into the final and it was like quick fire questions where you had to press a buzzer and answer the question first. And I remember they put on some screenshots of this and I pressed the buzzer, but I just went mental blank. I mean, you know what I'm like anyway. My head is bloody bad at best of times. Never mind as a shy-ish, what would I have been, 14-year-old, 13-year-old. But yeah, absolutely fantastic game. Definitely recommend getting. This isn't the best condition game. It's all complete and everything like that. But yeah, I probably could do with an upgrade of this. I actually got this from a Facebook marketplace. Not that anyone cares about where I've collected it from. It's part of the game, isn't it? So yeah, I've heard it's better than the arcade. I have played the arcade, but I thought it was about quite similar. But there will be people that know more about that than I do. So another absolutely fantastic game, and that is Chicky Boys. Well, I'm hoping all these are going to be fantastic games, because if not, why am I choosing them? Yeah, absolutely love this game. I remember seeing this all the time, and for some reason, never picking it up. I don't know why that is. So this is a Capcom game, even though, do you know what? You would never know that some of these Mega Drive games were Capcom games unless you read like on the small print there where it says 1990 Capcom. Another arcade game. In fact, no, not all arcade games. Nearly all arcade games, actually. I've just realised. So I kind of went the soft route of actually playing this as a kid, and I played Mega Twins on the Amiga, which is just not quite as good as this. The Amiga platformer games were good, but for some reason, some of the, well, when it was a conversion from the arcade, the Mega Drive just was able to do it justice, and this really does it. It is better on the arcade, it is. But that being said, I'm really glad I picked this up later on, because yeah, it's sort of like a bit of a mix of Wonder Boy and a few other like Japanesey crazy platformers. It's like, yeah, basically Wonder Boy on steroids. And do you know what? I nearly actually picked Wonder Boy in Monster World, but I prefer Monsterland a little bit better. And this is just like that, but with the less RPG elements. It's more of a straightforward platformer. Fantastic game. I'm pretty certain in the arcades this is a 2-player, but on this it is only a 1-player. So yeah, as I say, Chicky Boys, fantastic. That just name just stuck with me all the way from my youth as well. So yeah, this is actually one of the first Mega Drive games I actually got this time round of collecting. Next up, another fantastic game. But do you know what? It's not the Mega Drive version I prefer, but I don't have the Super Nintendo version. But that being said, Sunset Riders on the Mega Drive is still an absolute belter of a game. And yeah, I've got quite a lot of Mega Drive games, and there is a lot of good games, but flipping out, this really does stand head and shoulders above the rest. It's one of the most colourful Mega Drive games that you have going. Slightly more on the Super Nintendo, slightly better music, slightly better, was it more stages? I can't remember. This is a bit more of a gimped version than the Super Nintendo, if I remember correctly. I had the SNES version as a kid, absolutely flipping loved it. Can't afford that now, so I'm gonna stick with the Mega Drive one, which is quite cheap. I think, was it what, about 30-40 quid game? So yeah, it's quite affordable compared to like the 150 or something that the SNES version goes for, and the bits that it takes out of it, this is totally worth getting. I mean, bury me with, what is it? Bury me with your gold. Yeah, no, not your gold, my gold. That's how I feel at the moment with all these bloody games. Right, what we're talking about this game, aren't we? So yeah, there wasn't too many cowboy games back in the day. But when they did, like, they was so colourful. It was like cowboy games, what you see nowadays, are so dark and serious. But back then, I think it was just that Japanese flavour. Konami, oh my goodness. Why can I never say Konami on these videos? One of my favourite publishers. In fact, it's going to be a Konami game next. And yeah, bloody can't say enough good words about this, even though I'm just gone off on a bit of a random torrent of words there. But yeah, next up, a game I never realised was out at the time. It was only when I started collecting again quite a few years ago that I knew about it. And this is, again, when I found out about it, I just had to go out and buy it straight away. And that game is Castlevania The New Generation. So again, I think this is a bit of a censored version compared to the American and the Japanese one, if I remember correctly. But flipping amazing. I'm just looking, I've got a CEX sticker on the back of it. Yeah, I can't say, again, another one that I can't say enough good words for. I've not actually completed it. It does beat me, but I like trying, and I love Castlevania games. I need to really put some more time into this and actually get around to beating it. I know Nath Retro actually played this the other day, and he actually did a really good job of it. So yeah, absolutely love this game. Yeah, it's it definitely feels like a Mega Drive version to Castlevania, like in the fact it just has that darker elements than what the Super Nintendo's versions did. Yeah, Castlevania, love it. Next up, another game I had as a Super Nintendo, and that game is Maximum Carnage. So yeah, one that I played a lot of as a kid. I used to love side-scrolling brawlers like this. Yeah, everyone keeps going about like Streets of Rage and stuff like that. I was more into all like these kind of ones, the ones that were more like cartoony and a bit more far-fetched and stuff like that. So I would love like what I'm trying to think on top of my head, some of the other like fighter brawlers that I played as a kid. As I say, there wasn't all like just like normal humans. They all had to be some like kind of superhero. And the one thing that we didn't get on the Super Nintendo, that the Mega Drive version was, and that's a red cart. Gutted. The Americans got a red cart for the Super Nintendo, but the Super Nintendo one that we had as a kid was just a normal grey cartridge. And I mean, that was just a great little gimmick to actually make people buy it. But yeah, to be honest, I've played this a few times. I can't remember what the difference is between this and the Super Nintendo one was. But as I say, it was just great flipping, going around brawling and fighting people. And you had to be Venom, didn't you, really? I mean, that was it. It was just great to control, like, an evil, well, sort of evil character. I didn't really know much about Venom up until I played this game. And I always associate Venom with Maximum Carnage, the video game. So, yeah, I would say I'm not a big comic book guy, really. And next up, I think probably my favourite game out of this bunch, and that is Splathouse 2. This would always be in my top 5, always has to be there. Yeah, this was like nothing else that I played back as a kid. It was like dark, like horrific. It was a bit freaky, to be honest. There was a bit like an element of like being a bit scared playing it. I think I was probably about 12 when I played this. Let's have a look. 1992. I would have been 10 when that came out, and probably 11 when I first started playing it. And yeah, I remember getting this, trading it in, getting it again, trading it again. I think I must have had this 4 or 5 times as a kid, and yeah, enjoyed every one of it. I mean, the noises what you get when you flipping hit the creatures into the back walls, like what games can you do that? It was so flipping violent. It was amazing. I don't know why my parents actually let me play stuff like this, because I would have. This is one of the games that I would have to bring downstairs and put in the living room, because I don't know if you remember back in them days, you used to be able to go into the living room and play games on the big TV, just like one-offs, like maybe once on the weekend or something like that. And this would be one of them games that I would bring down and flipping blast out on a big 25-inch screen. But yeah, that is my top 6 games. As I say, the list could go on and on and on, even with what I've got, which is, like I say, I've got a decent collection, really. It's not all just like sports games or anything. But yeah, doing this video has made me want to get some more games. It really has. Really want to go back, dive into the Mega Drive, and I just need car boots to reopen so I can fund my Mega Drive spending habits. I don't really like spending too much on Mega Drive games. I don't know why. Don't know what that reason is. But yeah, top 6 Mega Drive games. Oh shit, I was supposed to nominate someone. So yeah, after a bit of a brain fart, I've thought I've come up with a couple of people now, I think. So yeah, first up would have to be Nath Retro 1. He's currently doing an A to Z of 16-bit games. So I'd love to see if any of the games that he would have picked on his list before this are still in these top 6. Or if any of these games that he's played recently, like, will knock out that top 6 and replace what he thinks are his top 6 games that he would go back to and play, I guess. And also, I think Champion 2D Rob, I think that his list will be absolutely fantastic. I think that's going to be a great one. I think it's going to be quite a good mix of nostalgic PAL games and Japanese ones for us all to lust over. So yeah, you two guys, I think I'd really like to see what your thoughts are. But not only that, I'd love to see what anyone's are. I love watching these VR responses. They've been great, actually. They've really been a lot of fun. So yeah, that's my VR response video. 6 games. I think there's 6 there. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.